It is a busy morning inside the newly opened Rwanda's main COVID-19 treatment center in Nyarugenge Hospital. We entered the intensive care unit. Some of the patients admitted here were still able to hear, speak or look at one who enters the room, while others are unconscious. The sounds of the medical machines next to each patient were the loudest in the room. All patients are on oxygen support. In some critical cases, a single patient is under the care of at least 5 doctors. The modern and easy-to-use technology that allows each bed to have an oxygen supplying device for each patient have helped doctors in their work, according to Captain Nahayo Ernest, the hospital director.
While at Nyarugenge Hospital, it was difficult to administer oxygen therapy to each patient. This facility has high-standard oxygen therapy that enable every patient to be connected to oxygen support. Instead of the cylinders that only lasted for 3 hours maximum, we would use 8 oxygen cylinders a day. But here, every bed has an oxygen port connected to the wall that serve as ventilators, monitors, and oxygen gas used in operations, even though we do not carry out any operations. It also brings oxygen once connected to the patient.
Of the 82 patients we found at this hospital, 24 were in the most critical condition, of which 2 were on ventilators that helps them to breathe. This also goes hand in hand with looking at the condition of their lungs using radiography.
When a patient is on ventilators, we monitor their lungs every moment using tubes to make sure there are no unforeseen incidents. That is why we use radiotherapy to monitor everything, including the status of the lungs, and determine the next medical move.
On the other hand, there are other rooms with very weak patients who are starting to pick up strength, but they are also still receiving oxygen therapy. All patients here have specific testimonies of the pandemic, which is why they are urging everyone to step up their effort to prevent the spread of the virus.
I am one of the people who never believed that COVID-19 existed. I thought it was a political campaign about a foreign illness that was not in Rwanda. After developing some symptoms, I went for a medical test. Nothing was detected, but I was asked to test for COVID-19. Later that night, I developed respiratory complications. I called ambulance that brought me here. They administered first aid and oxygen therapy. That is how I gained some strength. I want to tell Rwandans out there, COVID-19 is real and it is very dangerous. You develop cough, cold pneumonia, and all sorts of respiratory complications.
I saw people die in Nyarugenge. It is difficult to explain what I saw. 3 people died before my eyes as a result of respiratory complications. It became real when it happened to me. I urge people to adhere to all COVID-19 control measures put in place by authorities.
From March 14, 2020 to January 14, 2021, it is exactly 10 months since the first case of COVID-19 was confirmed in Rwanda. More than 10,000 people have been infected in the past 10 months, while about 130 people have been killed by the virus.